Because President Trump is so friendly to Jews, so friendly to Israel, has Jews in his own family, you have a madman who thinks that he's controlled by some secret Zionist conspiracy or Jewish conspiracy who goes in and kills Jews, random Jews in Pittsburgh, because now all Jews everywhere are targets for people who hate Donald Trump. And so now the left, who also hates Donald Trump, they attack the rabbi. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's just a much, obviously, less sinister, but equally crazy version of Jew hatred.
Right.
But it's coming from Donald Trump hatred. And now they're saying we should also hate Israel, and Zionism is like Nazism, and pro-Israelism is like white supremacy. Why? Because Donald Trump is perceived as being close to Israel. And so anti-Semitism is breeding more and more anti-Semitism.
Right, and it's horrifying to see. We talked about this a little bit in the opening segment of the show tonight, but I don't blame either political party for attacks when it's a deranged individual, a loner that wages the attack. One political party is not responsible for that, but if either of the two main political parties, Republican or Democrat, tolerates anti-Semitism, we see the left tolerating anti-Semitism. It's the left that's embracing Louis Farrakhan. It's the left that's embracing Keith Ellison and Linda Sarsour and the BDS movement and the Students for Palestine movements on college campuses. I mean, the left is actively either looking the other way, if not physically embracing these anti-Semitic figures.
You couldn't be more right. I mean, there are a couple of people who managed to register as Republicans, and even as someone who's managed to get in as a Republican who says things that are fairly offensive in terms of potentially anti-Semitic. And what the Republican Party did was they actually passed a resolution about somebody running for office in Illinois as a Republican who sneaked his way onto the ballot legally. They couldn't get him off. And they said, the RNC passed a resolution saying, we are telling Republicans not to vote for him. Vote for the Democrat, because we don't tolerate this kind of anti-Semitism. And the reality is that the left isn't just turning a blind eye to it. They're mainstreaming it. They're excusing it. They're embracing it. I mean, the major new elements of the Democratic Party seem to be Black Lives Matter and the Democratic Socialists of America and the Women's March. And those have very different agendas on a lot of things, but they all agree that they hate Israel. They all say horribly anti-Semitic things, and the left is running on those. But they're not running away from it. They're running on those factors. So yeah, it's a disaster. But honestly, all that is terrifying. What is incredible to me is that this rabbi is receiving hate mail. I can't even imagine. People say, obviously, we can't imagine the evil of someone and shoot innocent people at worship. But could you imagine the evil of someone who would send hate mail to this rabbi? And it's almost similar to, although not quite as bad, to Marsha Blackburn calls for a moment of silence, and somebody starts shrieking at a white supremacist. Who's that disrespecting? The politician? No, it's disrespecting the dead Jews.